All right, we're back. We're live in the Whoop Studios again. We've got another candidate to be in here, or a candidate, or something. But he used to be a constable. Charlie McKenzie. Welcome aboard, Charlie.
Glad to be here.
Charlie came in the studio bearing donuts. He said that's the best way he's found to get votes. Is hand out donuts, right?
That's right. Got 3 boxes.
Charlie is used to be a constable here in town for 7th District. Was that right?
7th District for 12 years, I believe.
12 years? I thought it was 24 years or something.
Felt like it. Felt like it.
Now you're on the city council.
City council.
And you're running again for that.
Running again in August.
In August. All right.
Well, I'm going to tell a funny story on Charlie.
All right.
Well, now, remember, before you start, anybody could be put in jail.
That's true.
Is that the story you're going to tell?
I was 12 years old when I got arrested by Charlie McKenzie.
Wait a minute. You've been arrested in your life?
I've got a record, folks. I sure did. And you know what I got arrested for?
What?
Driving a go-kart on city streets, and I was operating a friend's go-kart down by Deer Park, and Charlie pulled up in his cruiser there for the city police department at the time, and I decided the thing to do was to make a U-turn through Deer Park, chewing up the grass as I went, and he apprehended me and took me in. He did. He took me in. And I remember
you wouldn't have done a thing to if you had to run.
And I remember to this day that Charlie carried out his role to the end to teach me a lesson. They sent me through the whole booking process, and sat across the table from me. And I can remember to this day him looking at me from about 6 inches away from my face and going, "Eye color, hair color," making me tell him. Scared the you know what out of me.
But you didn't drive the go-kart.
I did not drive a go-kart through a city park ever again. That's true.
And
absolutely, that's exactly what happened though. So
and I forgot. I put a lot of people in, but I had forgot about that being him until he brought it back up. But I do remember it.
We've got another person that entered the studio, Jeff Yarber. Hello, Jeff.
My good friend Steve Hickson, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Good to have you with us in here tonight.
Listen to you all polite today,
yeah,
Jeff.
He is. He's been
when
real
am I
polite.
not polite, John Stanberry?
You really want to ask me that on the air?
You do have stories. Let me before we're going. Can I say something real quick? Many of you may know. If you don't, Eric Phillips is Cleveland High School's athletic director. Was the wrestling coach, led them to state championships. This weekend, his brother lost his life in Florida in an automobile. My understanding was someone had wrecked, and Eric's brother got out to help them, and a truck came along and hit him and a state trooper, and he lost his life. And Eric's down there. So any of you who know Eric or know his family, his daughter Sam Debian and his wife Sylvia, they're a wonderful family. Please keep their family in your prayers because they are wonderful individuals, and I hate that loss for him.
Oh, I hate that too. I hate to hear that.
Agree.
It's sad. Anyway, Jeff, getting into politics, you, Floyd Wade Jr., Bobby Goins, and Bryant Berry are all in this race. And let's see, you've got a Democrat on the other side, so you've got to settle this up between the Republicans tonight, haven't you?
Yes, I do. There'll be 2 Republicans come out of the primary tonight to go into the general election in August.
Mm-hmm. And you're the only incumbent left in this district. Let's see, Bill Lefford, 42 years, is out now, so you're the incumbent. And you got Floyd Wade Jr., Bobby Goins, and Bryant Berry. Now, it's Floyd Wade. He was
City councilman
one time, right?
Yes.
Charlie's your spot.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
All fine men. All run a good, clean campaign. I appreciate every one of them for stepping up and wanting to better the 5th district. You know, Bill Lefford's not running this time. It's kind of different, not having Bill on the ballot. Mm-hmm. He's been in office over 40 years, and to Bill Lefford, we salute you. We appreciate you, and it's been an honor to serve beside you.
Now, we just had Bryant Berry in, and he was talking about what a good race it's been, and everybody was nice and all these kind of things too. And he had he seemed like he was down to earth kind of guy. So.
Bryant Berry, you don't get a better individual than Bryant Berry. if Bryant were to win, it would be an honor to serve beside him. Bryant is he works at the Juvenile Center. Before Bill decided not to run and Bryant decided to stick his name in the hat, he's always been a supporter of mine. He was my fire board member. I have nothing but accolades to say about Bryant Berry.
Well, that's great that candidates are talking about other candidates that way. What do you think about the turnout for the elections this year? Both of you.
I think the early voting was enormous comparatively. It seemed like today was a little light in my areas, at least. I could see that trend happening. I believe more as time goes on, more and more people will early vote, and you'll see Election Day become less and less of a turnout because people have early voted.
7,863 people early voted. What do you think the total count's going to be for this election? I want these pros here to tell me.
I'm going to guess 12,500. Charlie?
Say 13 to 13.5.
And I'm going to say 12.5.
All right, Franklin.
I think from what I've seen thus far, 12.5 is probably a pretty good number.
Well, just to really increase our percentage, I'm going to agree with Franklin, 12.5.
and I will tell you, somebody asked me that question about a week ago, and after the early voting numbers came out, and I said 14 to 15. So, but from what I've seen, it's going to be lighter.
So 4,500 people is roughly what you think is going to be out voting today? Is that right?
Yeah, man, it'll be low.
Man, you know what? That is a lot of work to go in for that amount of people to vote. I think we'll just cancel it after early voting and call it an election.
You know what is it? Churchill said that democracy is the worst form of government in the world except for all the other forms.
All right. Ew, Lord. Anyway, anything unusual happening during this election you guys want to talk about, or anything?
Everybody seemed to get along pretty well. That's unusual.
That's unusual.
You got Adam Lewis in the studio.
I do want to send an attaboy out to my constable, Steve Anderson, who's running an awesome campaign. I appointed Steve to constable. I'm not big on endorsing people, but I've got behind Steve 100%, and I believe Steve's done a wonderful job. It would be a shame if he were to get beat, but I don't see it happening. I think Steve Anderson will be elected and will serve as constable for as long as he wants to be.
Now, Steve took Ira Cox's place after he passed away.
He sure did.
And you nominated him. There was a couple other people, several of you, promoted him to take that office. And
well, he was voted on by the commission and got a unanimous vote by the commission. I nominated him as the appointment. I had a couple of very fine, outstanding people to pick from, and Steve was my choice. Tim Fowler was a very good candidate, and Alan Fain was a good candidate as well. I appointed Steve, and Steve's done a great job and will continue to do a great job for the 5th District.
And Ira was awfully big shoes to fill, wasn't it, Jeff?
Well, Steve Anderson will say, I'm not Ira Cox, I'm Steve Anderson. Everybody knows you can't fill Ira Cox's shoes.
No.
Ira was my constable. Ira will always be my constable as far as that goes. Steve is my constable now. Ira will always have a place in that position, and people will still. Steve said the only thing that worries him is he still goes out and knocks on doors, and people will say, "Are you running against Ira?" And and so Ira is a legacy that will live for eternity. So.
Well, anyway, there's going to be some good races going on here. We've got 5 Democrats in the election. Franklin, where's all the Democrats in the election?
That's all of them.
There'll be some more in the races in the August primary.
They're in Polk County.
Are they in Polk County right
Some
now?
of them are.
So there'll be more sacrificial lambs in August?
Don't be so sure about that now.
What do you know? Kind of give us an idea what's going to happen in August with the Democrats around here.
Well, there's a very attractive candidate in the 4th District race that I think they suggested earlier that Jim Tracy will be the candidate. I think that'll actually be a hard-fought election. Former chief financial officer for Sewanee University, who's got long-term ties in that community, is running. Linda Sherrill. As you know, that district has actually voted Democratic in the last 8 years. So that's actually one of the closer to swing districts in the area. So I actually think that that one may be a lot more competitive.
Although that's
than
not
other
the
folks.
same district that voted that way the last 8 years.
Well, that's because they took some of the Republican votes out and put them in another Republican district. So,
Poor old Republicans. They're always picking on Democrats, aren't they?
no, we're not complaining.
Well, anyway, did you have a problem voting at this election?
No, I went to early voting about a block from my office.
Did you have to produce an ID?
I did,
Did you tell
but
them?
I have one,
But you have one?
and lots of senior citizens don't.
So how do they collect their Social Security? Because you have to have one to get
No,
your
you
Social
don't.
Yes, you do.
It goes direct deposited in your bank.
But you
now.
have to you have to have one to sign up for it.
I'm sorry, you guys live in a bubble. There are tons and tons of senior citizens, in particular in this country, who do not have photo
Well,
ID.
then let's fix that.
Well, then-
because they deserve to have
well,
them,
then-
Franklin. Why are you denying senior citizens photo IDs? You Democrats are denying senior citizens photo IDs. Folks, I am outraged at this
Well.
denial of senior citizens' rights.
John, you're not even funny when you're trying to be.
All right, let's welcome Adam Lewis to the studio. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, Adam. I'm sorry. I
Good
went
day.
over.
Good day to you, Steve.
Adam Lewis. Now, you've been involved in politics for quite a while now, right?
Yes.
What is your title now?
I am the
Political?
chairman of the Republican Party here in Bradley
That's
County.
what I thought. That's what I thought. Who's the chairman of the Democratic Party?
Presently,
Yeah.
Tammy McGuirk, a teacher.
Okay. All right. Well,
Hey,
Adam,
Steve.
thank you for coming by.
I want to say too, if I can, real quick.
Sure.
We do have some great commissioners who will not be, who have either aren't seeking re-election or run for other offices. To Connie Wilson, my good friend, Brian Smith, who I think when losing Brian, we're losing such a phenomenal commissioner there. Talking about big shoes to fill, there'll be big shoes to fill there. He's decided not to look for re-election and doing other things. Adam Lowe's not running again. Of course, my good friend Bill Leffer's not running again. And Ed Elkins isn't running again. So to all those people, I salute you as well.
Well, I've got a feeling a lot of them are going to be hanging around for the meetings and making
so.
sure y'all don't mess up. I think Ed Elkins will be. He'll be right there to the very end.
They'll be
So,
taking roll.
Adam, what's going on with the Republican Party?
Staying busy. Quite a few races tonight that'll be decided in the primary. We've got, you mentioned in the August primary, just 5 Democrat opponents, and it's over 60 Republican candidates that we were able to field in this May primary. And I think that that's great. I think that that speaks a lot to the philosophy that the Republican Party holds, and the philosophy that that we've been sharing with people for quite a while. My work has been just recently, but we've got a lot to be thankful for when we talk about men like Ira Cox, John, your dad. For years, we've had men and women that have worked very diligently to bring the Republican Party in Bradley County to where it is, and I'm certainly thankful to be riding on their shoulders and to be able to enjoy a night like this where we have so many great Republican candidates that come out for
And
office.
to be able to sit next to a Democrat.
Well, I'm sitting between Franklin and John, which is a little intimidating. I'm just praying that I get out of here alive, to be honest with you.
Now, which one's a conservative?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. On our Backfire show, you'll hear them yelling and screaming, but I'm telling you, they're friends.
I know.
As soon as we take a break, it's over with. So, anyway, go ahead, Charlie. Charlie, you want to say something?
I've got a question for Franklin.
All right, go
Uh-oh,
ahead.
here we go.
Is there a possibility that one of your partners, named Scott, might vote in Republican primary this time? Is there any truth to that?
Well, I suspect that he's already voted, so it certainly could have happened. Yeah, certainly possible.
I would have liked to have been there to see it.
Now, I didn't know they had a box for Democrats and a box
You know,
for
this
Republicans.
has been an extremely unusual and uncomfortable Republican election for us, given that we have 2 of our partners running for office in the Republican primary. So,
One Democrat.
and one Democrat, but she's running in Polk County. So,
Is she opposed?
oh yeah, it's three people in the race. So she's running for General Sessions Judge in Polk
Her
County.
and Balaus and who else?
A young lady named Laura Crawford, who's another attorney who lives up in Copper Basin.
Let me ask a couple of questions here, and this is some of the candidates. So you got Larry Puckett, Part 1 Circuit Court Judge.
Unopposed.
Unopposed. You got Mike Sharp, Part 2, Circuit Court Judge, unopposed.
Yes, those are the two civil circuit court
All
judges.
right, and then you got Circuit Court Judge Part 3, and that's William J. Bill Brown, Andrew Mark Friedberg, and Chow Thompson.
Yeah.
Now, I've never heard of Chow Thompson.
Chow Thompson lives in Monroe County. He's was an assistant district attorney up there for
Long time.
a long time.
Okay.
He ran for
Andrew Freiberg was an assistant district attorney in Bradley County, McMinn, and Monroe County, and has been in private practice for the last couple of years.
Okay.
Bill Brown was an assistant district attorney back in the Jerry Estes office for a period of time, and then has been in private practice, I guess, the last 12 to 15 years, I suppose.
Then we have the Chancellor, Jerry
Jerry.
Saunders Bryant, and the Criminal Court Judge, Sandra Donaghy, and Van Irian. And on the Democratic side, that's Amy Armstrong Reedy.
Who's the incumbent?
That's been interesting in all the forums. They've all three talked in these forums, but actually today you will decide whether it's Sandra Donaghy or Van Irian who are the Republican nominee, and then in August they will be opposed to Amy Reedy in August.
Right. And then we've got the District Attorney General, Steve Crump and Stephen Hatchett, running tonight. Public Defender, Richard Hughes, he's been elected.
Unopposed.
Unopposed. Gary Davis, County Mayor, unopposed. County Commissioner, District 1, Ed Elkins, not running in that election. And you have to take two people here. Let's see, Terry Cadewood is incumbent, I believe, there. And then we have Dennis Collins, Tom Collins, and Mike Hughes running for that spot. County Commission, District 2, need to vote for two. That's Louis Alford, John Burns, Tom Cry, and Tammy Wingo Salmon. Let's see, County Commission, District 3, got to vote for two. You got Mylan Blake and Johnny Moyle. And on the Democratic side, you've got Jeff Morlock in that race. Brian Smith is not running in that race this year. County Commission, District 4, vote for two. Charlotte Peak Jones is incumbent. June Montgomery, Carol Peaches Sears, and Howard Thompson are running for that position. Bill Lefford's seat in District 5, Jack Burke Jr. is a Democrat running in that side. And Bryant K. Berry, he was in our studio here just shortly. Bobby Goins, Floyd Wade Jr., and, of course, Jeff Yarber are incumbent here in the studio with us.
That is correct.
And on the Democratic side for the District 6, E.J. Lauder. Laughter, I'm sorry. I can't even read this morning or evening. On the Democratic side, and John Cochran, Mel Griffith is the incumbent. Ronnie E. Keller, Tom Lefford, Dan Ross, and Robert D. Romanger is the incumbent. Pam Edgman is on the Democratic side running for District 7 County Commission against Mark Hall and Bill Winters. Dan Swafford, unopposed, General Session Judge Division 2, Barrett Painter, Sheridan Randolph, and Sherry Taylor.
Yes.
And Sheridan Randolph is the incumbent on that one. Sheriff, vote for one, Jim Ruth or Eric Watson. That's going to be a big race here tonight. Circuit Court Clerk, vote for one, Gayla Miller. Circuit Court, vote for one, Donna Allen Simpson. County Clerk, I'm sorry. Register of Deeds, vote for one, Dinah Swafford. I can't pronounce these names tonight. I'm sorry, folks. Road Superintendent, vote for one, Sandra Norton Knight and James Ed Lewis. Constable District 1, the incumbent's not running. Sammy Hughes, is that right? Donnie Hughes? Donnie, okay. Darren Bradley's running. Charles V. Carroll, Thomas Kimsey, and Gary D. Moore for that position. Dickie Alford is a constable 2nd District. Constable 3rd District will be Jason Coral and Jesse Hughes. Jesse Hughes is the incumbent there. Constable 4th District, Wayne Henry. Constable 5th District, Ira Cox.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. He took
No.
Ira Cox's spot for the 5th District.
Right.
See what Steve was worried about?
What was I worried about?
To see what Steve Anderson
Yeah.
was worried about.
Yeah.
You've got him.
I'm sorry. We have Steve Anderson, who was appointed to replace Ira Cox, unexpired term.
Right.
And Johnny Miller is running against him. Constable 6th District is Charles Dunson Sr., Cody Herron. Dwayne Hicks is the incumbent, and Jeffrey Lewis. Constable 7th District, R.D. Jackson and Brent Runyon. That used to be Charlie McKenzie's position, I believe, right, Charlie? Anyway,
And before that, it was Red Fox.
Red Fox before that. That's not the comedian Red Fox.
No.
Red ran 5 times.
That's Randy
Yeah.
Fox's.
Run 5 times before he got elected. And then when he got elected, he said, I didn't know you're supposed to get the most votes, right? I got that a long time ago.
Anyway, we've got a lot of from the Democratic side. You got Amy Reedy, Jeff Morlock, and just a couple of other Democrats that are running for anything. But anyway, that kind of gives us a rundown of what's going on. Anything else you guys want to add to us? Right now, we're getting close to the magic hour. If you haven't voted, you get a chance to pull that hammer any minute now.
You got about 8 minutes to get to the polls.
8 minutes to get to the polls,
And
folks.
if you're in line, they'll vote you.
Well, Steve, I'm about to have to head out.
I mean,
But before I go, I just want to tell everybody that, I have served for 12 years now. It's been an honor. Tonight, win, lose, or draw, it's been an honor to serve. I expect to win. I expect to go into the general and win there and serve 4 more years. But I just want everybody to know that I do appreciate my supporters and my friends out there. And to all of you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming by. All right, let's take a break right before we get into the results, and we hope to be back and start giving you some results any minute now. We have people downtown waiting to give us these results.